All right, I am Lewis. That is...
I'm Jamie.
We are the Angry Geeks. We came all the way up here from New England to meet you guys and to meet Colorado. You guys, this is like very high altitude. Oh my God. Anyway, you guys are you ready for the banana splits?
Yeah.
How many of you actually watched it when you were little? Oh, really? See, now this is crazy. I have the...
Don't talk about it yet. Don't talk about it yet.
I had the song on my playlist still today. So anyway, how about we bring Drooper herself on? Anne Withrow! Yes. Well, no, you don't have to wear a mask. Jamie and I will wear a mask. You don't have to wear a mask.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
It's up
good.
to you.
You're
It's
safe.
totally safe.
Careful.
What happened?
Don't do that.
Old habits die hard. No, she did say she was going to be animated up here with us.
We were a live action cartoon. When else was I going to get animated? So I'm sorry I'm the only one here, but that's necessitated a rewrite of the theme song. It now goes like this. One banana.
So earlier we were talking about the theme song,
Okay.
and I told you that I had it on my playlist, and Jamie was laughing about it and everything. And you told me an interesting tale about that. Oh, but first, before we start, my God, I'm so excited up here. Con got some rules: no videos taping, no streaming. Okay, you guys can take snapshots. That's good, but no streaming. Okay, and no videotaping. And now the Angry Geeks ourselves, if you guys don't know us because we come from New England, we have special rules for our panel. And those rules are set by you. What questions are you? Yes, you.
Oh,
Yes.
me.
What questions are you? What questions are you tired of answering, don't want to answer, can't answer, or just like, I answered it 80 times already?
I can't tell you what Bingo had for breakfast yesterday. A, he lives in Vancouver, British Columbia. I don't. B, he missed his flight, so I haven't seen him. And we don't tend to tell each other, hey, for breakfast I had something.
Okay. Anyway, I guess that means anything goes.
Basically.
Okay, so earlier we had a conversation about the theme song. You want to share that little tidbit that not many people know?
That when you look it up, you find the person who wrote it, and that information is wrong. My father wrote the theme song, and he wrote some of the other music that appears in the show, but for contractual reasons, he didn't get credit.
That's awful. Huh? Yeah.
But do you know the Snap Crackle Pop song? One banana.
I did put bananas in my Rice Krispies, so.
Okay, it all works. It all works. Snap, what a happy sound. Snap is the happiest sound I have found. You know that song? He wrote that one too. And K-E-double-L-O double good, Kellogg's best to you. He wrote that tag. He worked for Leo Burnett and Company. I'm not talking about the Banana Splits now. He worked for Leo Burnett and wrote lots and lots of Kellogg's commercials.
Look, that's just amazing. I didn't know that at all. So with the banana splits though, how hot was the soup?
Let me put this on, and can I borrow something from
Yeah, I
each
don't
of
have
you?
much, but, you know.
Well, I don't think they'd mind. Let me put on several more jackets and get my head claustrophobic and run out in the sun.
Wow.
Okay. It's hot.
No doubt.
It was hot. When we were shooting the titles at Six Flags Over Texas in Dallas, Texas, in July in Texas, in the humidity, we would stop the trucks carrying shredded ice to the concession stands, and we would grab ice out of the trucks and just toss it in because it cooled us. It didn't make us cold.
And how long were you in costume?
At a time,
Yeah.
a take would generally be less than 5 minutes.
Okay.
But that was an opportunity to take the head off to get fresh air,
Right.
which wasn't the same thing as
Right.
getting cool finally, which didn't happen until we got back to the hotel.
Did you drive the banana buggies? Because when I was little and I saw the banana buggies, I was like, I want to go there and I want to drive those with them.
The buggies were a vehicle called an amphicat.
Okay.
It was a very early six-wheeled, all-wheel drive, all-terrain vehicle. Well, Bingo the Gorilla found that you can be driving down the hillside madly and make a right turn into a cyclone fence because you can't see the cyclone fence. I think on YouTube you can find a place where I'm driving the buggy in the Rose Bowl, and it goes up on 3 wheels.
Oh, jeez.
And you see me, it didn't go over. It drove with a couple of sticks.
What was the most fun about the cartoon?
But the cartoon?
Yeah, well,
about the show,
about
shooting the show?
yeah.
I was 18. Everything was fun. I mean, we would show up at the studio. We would put on the costumes and we would have fun. I'm sorry for the horror show, the horror movie people, those actors in the costumes.
No.
They didn't get to have fun. They got to be automatons.
Did you, how were the pratfalls and that? Did the suit protect you? Did it help at anything or no?
The other 3 costumes had a little more padding than mine did.
Yeah, I know.
Mine had a little pillow down about my crotch, which never really needed protection for anything we did. But the rest of the costume was quite thin, so no, it provided no protection. I guess the head probably saved my head a couple of times. Like the time I fell off the boom of the tall ship in San Francisco Harbor. Hit the deck. But my head was fine.
All right, you want to get to the audience questions first?
Sure.
Sure. Any questions, buddy? What's your name?
My name's Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
So where did they film the amusement park when they did the series?
The first year we shot at Six Flags Over Texas in Dallas. In the intervening year, Taft Broadcasting Corporation had purchased Hanna-Barbera, and they purchased Kings Island, or maybe it was Coney Island, I don't remember, in Cincinnati. So in 1969, we went to Cincinnati and filmed all new amusement park stuff.
Nice.
All right, another question? Come on, you guys have to have questions. You're making our job really hard right now.
Ask another one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So when you went on the roller coaster, did you cool off?
I see. When you were on the roller coaster, did you actually go off?
Oh, well, there's the roller coaster and there's the slide.
Yeah.
The big
Yeah.
slide. I don't know if you're talking about the slide or the roller
The
coaster.
roller coaster.
The roller coaster. I love roller coasters, so I had a good time. There was the time I got off the roller coaster and I realized that my tail
Oh no.
was covered with grease, which means it had spent part of the time down there with the wheels. And I was very fortunate that it didn't actually go under a wheel and get caught.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now, I had the safety bar over me because they don't let you on the roller coaster without it. But it would probably have hurt.
See, one of the reasons why I was asking about the pratfalls is because you brought up the slide. And Drooper, he took some hits on that slide, if you guys remember right.
Yeah.
Walking up, spinning around, and hitting it. I was like, as a kid, I'm laughing because I think it's funny, but now I'm like, my God, that must have hurt because those slides are hard.
Oh, they weren't as hard as the concrete stage that we shot.
Yeah, because I think Drooper took the most fall. I mean, Fleegle took some, but Drooper, you got your butt kicked by yourself.
Yeah. What else do? You want me to get animated now?
Yes, please do. Please.
The slide, I like the roller coaster. I like roller coasters. It was fun, but it was pretty benign for doing things to me. The slide, we had to walk up that 4 or 5, I don't know how many stories that is. This is Dallas in the summer in a costume, holding a head and a piece of stuff to slide down on. I got tired of doing that. So the cameras are rolling. I turned around, started to run up. And the others said, hey, let's go the wrong way. And they started going too.
That was your idea, huh?
Awesome. So was it also your idea to turn around and fall like you did?
Oh. The costume itself had a lot to do with how Drooper moved. I had these clown-sized feet that kind of hung on my feet. I'd pick up my foot, eventually bring the costume foot with it. I had nothing holding those feet on. So that really affected how I could walk, how daintily I could walk, but it added to, oh, I'm going to fall down now because I have no choice. But it all became part of the character.
Okay.
Ask me about how well I saw out of the costume.
That was my next question. I mean, you wore sunglasses on top of those little itty bitty eyes. So how was the visibility? I mean,
was I supposed to see? There's an action that Drooper had of raising the glasses and squinting.
Yep.
It's because the eyes were built as a squint. But one was here and the other one was here. So, how am I going to see? I don't know. The glasses sat at an angle. Very thick, flat glass. Anything bright, high behind me is what I was looking at.
Oh, no.
So raising the glasses was so I could see anything. But it became part of the character.
So they block out physical bumpers. I know I've read that in certain other productions where characters had a hard time seeing out in their costumes. They would block out. You walk this way, and if you run into here, you know to go right. And if you run into this, you know to go left. And if you trip and fall, well, then we'll take you to the emergency room. But did they ever block out anything like that for Drooper?
Okay, I'm very hard of hearing, and that keeps me from seeing your mouth. But
My apologies. Did they ever block out any sort of physical bumpers for you to pinball off of as you're
No.
running around and acting?
No, because the director the first year for the studio shooting would say, okay, this is the playback you're working to. What are you going to do this time?
So a lot of it was ad-libbed.
Oh yeah. Now we would run through it. Let's try to do this so that the cameras had some idea of where to look. Because if Fleegle is over here hitting bingo with a hammer, you don't want to be watching Snorky and Drooper doing something because that's the action. So we coordinated that kind of thing. Ask me about a Super Drooper shot and using a rope.
What about the rope in the Super Drooper drop?
Okay, the second year we had a great version of Drooper for me, a purple cape with a red lining, purple gauntlets, and the purple mask. And I loved Super Drooper, and I would come out and twirl in the cape, and yeah. Well, there was one time we would hear the event going on the radio. This is something for Super Drooper. There was a rope hanging on the set for this particular piece, and I was supposed to grab the rope and swing toward the window. But Super Drooper, Super didn't realize that the rope took him up. Hit the wall above the window, fall to the floor. Somebody else opens the door, and I get up and stagger out. Yeah, I got up, I staggered out after knocking the ear off the costume. These things had like 1/4-inch wire steel in there, and a big structure was welded together. So Drooper Van Gogh hit the wall and got up and left the set as he was supposed to.
Did you get to keep anything from the set?
Oh no.
Really?
Oh no.
Did you take anything from it? We're among friends. Did you take anything from the set?
Not that I remember, but that was 50 years ago.
Any questions about it? Yeah.
So, oh wait, you had a question? I already had it. All right. So, I saw the cartoon episode you had. Did you do your own? Did you do the voice on the Drooper on there?
We did not do our own voices.
Oh.
Dawes Butler did Bingo the Gorilla. Paul Winchell did Fleagle, and Alan Melvin did me. I don't know who played the horn for Snorky, but
Okay.
Snorky didn't do his own horn.
All right, there was a question over there. Did I see him?
Over here.
No? Okay. What's your name?
Travis,
Travis.
do you know whatever happened to the old costumes? Do they exist in the museum? Or
They probably deteriorated after the last shot. I mean, they were constant maintenance. People ask me, do you still have the costume? No. No, I didn't want to work that hard to keep it together.
Now, a lot of times with Drooper, on the film, a lot of you that saw the cartoon or the show was always holding
Holding the tail.
Yeah. Is that because of something, or is it something that you ended up doing?
The tail was this thing that trailed behind me, that the other actors could step on.
Oh.
That they could step on and I could turn and trip over. So I held it out of self-defense. But that gave me a prop. I could wipe my eyes. I could bite on it when I was concerned about something. I could ask me about scripts and stage direction.
Jamie, why don't you have a question about script?
I'm not
Yeah,
necessarily
so-
finished with this. Let me, about the tail. I figured out how, when the tail was behind me on the ground, there was no way I could find it. I could turn, I couldn't see. I knew it was down there someplace, but I figured out how to put my foot behind me, grab the tail, bring it around, and get it off my foot. So I was able to get it.
Wow.
It spent a lot of time on my shoulder. It spent a lot of time in my hand. It was a prop.
What were like the scripts and stage direction like?
Good question.
The first year we weren't presented with scripts. Everything had been recorded by the voices. They would run the playback. We would get an idea of what we were supposed to do, and then during the playback we would do our action. The second year they decided we ought to know what the story was, so they provided scripts. The scripts had some wonderful stage direction in it, like Fleagle's eyes widen. How? Bingo looks sad. We took it as a great compliment because the people who wrote the second year scripts watched some of the first year stuff. And, Fleagle can widen his eyes. Bingo can look sad. Let's tell him to do that.
Did you ever once look at a script and go, "This is ridiculous," or you were like, "Yes, this is awesome"? Speechless.
The scripts were the scripts. The stories were what we were going to shoot. As I say, the director the first year would say, "Okay, what are you going to do this time, boys?" So we got to be very creative for ourselves. The director the second year would be saying, the bear.
Huh?
So, which one of us is the bear this time? Because it wasn't always the same person. The bear this time? No, the bear this time. A lot of fun that way. But the scripts were the scripts. They were what we were going to shoot, and not a big deal. I liked the Fliegel's eyes widen.
What's it like meeting fans? This morning when I ran into you our first meeting, you were really surprised at the hotel when I
right.
You looked at me. You looked at me and you were like, I said, "Hey, I'll see you today. We're going to be working together." And you were like shocked. You go, "I said I'm a huge fan of Banana Splits."
He recognized me. I have been able to walk down the street for 50 years and nobody knows what I did. That's been fine. I'm anonymous. Jerry Mathers goes to the restaurant and people are, "Hey, Beeve!" I go to the restaurant, I get to eat.
It's not that I'm a stalker or anything. I'm just a huge fan. I did surprise you.
Yes, you did. You did. But you knew you were doing the panel. You did some research. You found out
No,
what
I
I
just
look
watched a lot of
like.
cartoons as a kid.
I'm trying to give
It's
him
true.
credit.
He does have the theme song on his playlist in the car. I can vouch for that. Like, it's...
Well, you're going to edit it for the new version?
No. You four will always be my Banana Splits.
Yeah.
I didn't. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys right now. I did watch that movie and it sucked. You guys want to know why we call ourselves the Angry Geeks? It's because a piece of crap like that. I hated that movie because it wasn't what this lady did for me as a kid.
They needed something innocent that could go horribly wrong. And I don't know what is more innocent than the Banana Splits were. I'm not a horror fan, so I really can't address whether it was a good horror film or not. I was horrified by the Drooper costume because they gave him big googly eyes, and then they gave him big nostrils in front. Well, the nostrils were so he could see something, because you couldn't see through those googly eyes.
All right. What was your name again?
Calvin,
Calvin. What was your question?
speaking of innocence gone horribly wrong, what was the worst mistake that wound up in the show? Not what happened and was cut behind the screen because, oh my God, that went horribly wrong, but what actually went out to the public that wasn't supposed to, that wasn't scripted or planned?
I don't think anything really got out like that. The second year when we were shooting segments to introduce the NBC Saturday morning lineup, we had Judy the Chimp from Daktari on the set. There's an age at which they retire primates from work. Judy was well past that. Do you know how primates indicate aggression? What did Bingo look like?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's Judy sitting in the chair, smoking cigarettes. Those will kill you, Judy. And peeing on the chair and whatever. And we had to introduce ourselves to her as people. Then we had to bring out the costume and let her see that's clothing, whatever a chimp can think of people with clothing. And then we had to get dressed in front of her. So she had some connection between people, costume. And Judy, this is still me, and I've got my hat on, and this is still me, but you see, I'm here. Yeah, don't worry, I'm still here. The idea was, there's a knock on the door. I remember that somebody went to open the door. Judy comes in with the note, goes over to Flegel, who reads the note, scribbles a response, hands it to Judy, who exits. And that's how it was written. Judy got most of the way back to the door and said, you know, that one's smiling at me. I really don't like them smiling at me. She started screaming and jumping up and down. This is 130 pounds of solid spring steel, screaming and jumping. And I'm seeing this go through my vision. Flegel and I ended up somehow standing on top of the podium, hugging each other. I don't know how I got there. I don't know how he got. There wasn't room for two people on top of the podium, but we were there. Bingo couldn't join us because he had a chimpanzee wrapped around him.
Wow.
Terry said from after watching the rushes of that, I was scared all over again. We didn't know that a couple of weeks earlier, Judy had taken a bite out of an actress.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it was time for Judy to retire. The handler had a gun, a pistol. I'm pretty sure it was a tranquilizer, but I didn't know if it was for us or for Judy. You know, who's more expendable?
How did they get Judy off of bingo?
The trainer talked her down and unwrapped her, and I guess Flegel and I fell off the top at some point, and they had stopped filming by that time, so who knows?
Wow. Yeah, another yes.
Hey, I know, what did you actually eat on the set, like for lunch and stuff like that?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I don't. I know that the first year we were sweating so much. Gatorade was brand new. We drank that first year a lifetime supply of Gatorade. For the second year, we get to the set and here are cases and cases and cases and cases of Gatorade, which the crew and the stand-ins drank because we couldn't tolerate this stuff anymore.
So when you auditioned for that role, did they describe accurately what you would be doing? Or like, did you have full transparency of?
We understood that they wanted people who could dance and people who could do their own stunts and people who could act, you know, who could widen their eyes, and things like that. So you want the real background on the audition?
Yeah.
Real background on the audition. Okay, I'm finishing my senior year in high school on the North Shore of Chicago. A friend in the industry gets me into the auditions for the Banana Splits, flies me out to LA. We go to the Ruth St. Denis Dance Studio, which is across the street from Hanna-Barbera Productions. And there we see the costumes for the first time. I put the Drooper costume on because the drawing showed that Drooper was the tallest one. And I'm a towering 5'8". Bingo is 5'6". Flegel was 5'6" and a half. And Snorky was the short one. So that's why I put this costume on and never got out of it. I don't know how the other two went to theirs. Okay, we auditioned, we were cast, we did the show. That is the official story of how it happened. Now, Bingo was my brother Terry. Flegel was my brother Jeff. The friend in the industry was the guy who wrote the theme song, my dad. who flew us out to Chicago. We did audition. We went to Ruth St. Denis. We put these costumes on, and they had a camera there, and they took some footage of us in the studio, and we got the parts. Nobody else auditioned. But you saw the show. Did they need others?
No, not at all. Now, did you? How did you? I want to ask about the cartoons or Danger Island. Did you get to watch any of that, or it was just like you watched it after it aired?
I watched it on the air.
Okay. Okay, because they obviously they filmed Danger Island in a different location.
In Mexico.
Yeah.
They went to Mexico for Danger Island. We had Jan Michael Vincent in Danger Island.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like
That's.
that show, Desert Island. I thought, even though it was a short little series, it was great to watch.
I was kind of jaded. I won't say any more about the things that interrupted the good parts.
Okay, quick question. Anyone have a question? Come on, you guys got to have. You guys all said you were Banana Splits fans.
I am.
Okay, what's your question?
Oh, geez. I got so many questions.
My favorite picture is from one of those stereo viewers, the
Viewmasters?
Viewmaster.
Okay.
The Viewmaster photographer was on the set and taking pictures. There was a Super Drooper thing where I had to jump out that window head first. They had a couple of mattresses out there, which was better than the concrete. He snapped a picture of me exiting the window where my feet are sticking in the window, my tail is on the floor, and I'm horizontal. That was a great dive.
I had the Viewmaster. That's how I knew. I mean, it's like this is like a dream come true. This is like a childhood dream for me right now. How fast did the banana buggies actually go?
Oh, maybe as much as 25.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, they weren't intended as speed vehicles. You were supposed to be able to drive onto the water and continue going, floating on the water. They were supposed to be able to get over objects. It had a 16 horsepower SOX engine in it. That's some kind of German internal combustion engine that rattled so much that after about 15 minutes it was out of tune and wouldn't run anymore. So we had an Amphicat mechanic with us every time we filmed.
Wow. The set, if you guys remember, was so psychedelic. I mean, you had the fire, you had the fire pole, you had the lightning, you had the bird, the cuckoo coming out. What was it like first walking onto that set, seeing all these psychedelic colors, all the animatronics, and just, I mean...
Animatronics?
Well, yeah, the bird, you had the cuckoo that came, cuckoo.
Yeah, the guy standing on the other side of the wall, shoving it through and turning it around. Yeah.
Oh, that's what it was, really?
That's what it was.
Wow.
That's what it was. You know, the hand coming out of the guy had this kind of...
Oh, wow. So what was it like walking on the set, though, seeing all the colors and everything?
I wish I wasn't colorblind.
Oh.
I see color. I do. I will misname them because I'm colorblind. But I thought it was a great looking set. And then they lit it. What was lighting the walls was a quarter of what they were pouring on the floor to light the costumes, because these things absorbed light. And instead of having 4 black characters running around, they filled it with light, which filled it with heat, which filled it with, yeah.
Well, I'm sorry about that, but I think that was what was most appealing growing up, was all these bright colors, all the craziness, the pratfalls and...
Oh, I loved the moose head with the tie.
Yes.
You open the door, the tie is still there.
Yeah. Well, I was like, all right, that's a guy, not animatronic, but okay.
Well, no, the moose head, they had somebody working the switches for the lights instead of the antlers. And I guess they had somebody working the jaw. Uh-oh, Chongo! or they could have overdubbed anything. But the tie falling down, they built that. That was a practical.
Wow.
You remember the chair that was on the set?
Yep,
There was the slide and
Yep.
there was a chair. It was painted on the set. I used to sit in the chair. Would you like to see it?
Yeah.
Here's the chair, right? Older than I was.
Oh!
She still hasn't.
So the chair wasn't really there.
No, it was flat. As three-dimensional as this wall. But my shoes weren't that slippery on slippery concrete, so I could hold myself in the chair and cross my leg and put my arms up on the arms of the chair that didn't exist. Then something would happen and my foot would come out and I would do that. I still got it.
Yes, you do. Guys, our time is running out, so if you have another question, if you have a question, you got to let us know right now.
All right, my last question. So, being that you're you're your own stunt double
Yeah,
on the set.
yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, your own, and there were shots that probably got like, I like that shot. I'm gonna keep that shot and put it in the show.
There probably were, yeah. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, we loved it.
Another question?
That was it.
That was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim?
Was there ever a physical stunt that you did that didn't make it that you wish had been kept?
Was there ever a physical stunt that you did?
I don't recall. Unlike things like Leave It to Beaver, we didn't shoot an episode and then the next week shoot another episode. We spent a day shooting all of Drooper Take Out the Trash. We spent a day shooting all of Flegel, Go Get the Mail. Drooper Take Out the Trash was actually 2 days. And as I went to sleep at night in between, I said, I wonder if I can fit in that garbage can, ass first. So I got to the set and I found I could. I folded up and didn't fall all the way through. And I was able to get out again, which wouldn't happen these days. And I said, here's my idea. Drooper puts the bag in the can, puts the lid on, doesn't realize he threw his tail in too. So I get a tug of war going with the can, and Drooper loses. They loved it. We shot it.
Was there any other ad-libs like that you could recall?
No, but I do want to talk about San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge.
Yes, please. Tell us about San Francisco and the Golden Gate Bridge.
Okay, there's this great bridge in San Francisco. It's called the Golden Gate. If you ever get there, you ought to drive across it because it's really worth it.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
That's a lie, it's red.
And we did drive across it in a bright red convertible. Flegel drove.
Oh, no.
His costume had this foam with blue transparent ping pong balls as eyes. He had the best vision of the group, so he drove. Snorky sat in the passenger seat. Bingo and I sat in back. But we're a cartoon. You don't sit in the seat. We sat up on top of the seat with our feet down in the seat. We get to the north end of the Golden Gate. We pull off. We've got... There are no permits. There's no police presence. There's no nothing. We got a U-Haul truck with Fuad Saeed, crazy Egyptian cinematographer, filming us. Making a lot of noise, raise a lot of hell. We're shooting silent, but okay, make a lot of noise. We're going across the Golden Gate Bridge. We follow the truck, Jeff follows the truck to a turnaround at the north end of the bridge. And we're stopped, and the motorcycle cop comes up behind us, walks up to Jeff, who has by that time put his head on the seat beside him. The cop was worried about Bingo and me sitting up on top of the back of the seat because, you know, we could fall out and the speed limit's like 55 and we could get hurt. So we promised to be good actors and stay in the car if he had to do that. He drove off. Jeff put his head on. We got on the back of the seat and we drove south across the bridge.
Oh, all right, we have 5 minutes left, so I'm going to leave the floor to you guys. Any quick question? Anyone?
How heavy was the head?
Oh.
Because you said it was like steel and...
I'm guessing my head was probably 15 pounds.
That's a lot.
And
That's a lot.
I put a lot of my neck issues on Drooper head.
Oh, yeah.
And this was long. This was a long piece, so
I was going to say, you probably had to, like, fight to keep it up.
I had to fight to keep it up. We put a strap on me and hooked it to the strap so I could
Oh, my God.
straighten up, and that would help me pull the nose up.
Wow.
The mouths worked, right? There was this lever underneath the jaw, and it was hinged with springs, and my jaw got strong.
How did the hands work?
The hands?
Yeah, how did they work? Did you wear a glove, or was it something that you're grabbing onto? Claw?
I had canvas gloves and white spats. Not on that, but
How long did you have that?
okay. Phil Fletcher is a puppeteer in London, England, and he paid homage to the Banana Splits. You can go on YouTube and find the Pound Shop Boys, Tra-La-La. He made 4 of these puppets, and I don't know who did the singing for it, but they recorded the theme song again, and it was a wonderful thing. Our agent wrote to Phil and said, I'm working with those guys. Can you make more of those puppets? And can you include the tail? Because the first one didn't have a tail. Phil was thrilled to make them for us because he's a Splits fan. And here I'm showing Phil's work because I'm a fan of Phil. We got these in the fall of 2019.
Wow.
And I carry it on the airplane every time I travel to a show and back.
Wow, that's amazing. Let's give Ann a nice and big round of applause. And make sure you go down to the table, say hi, get a, you have a question? No? Okay. Make sure you go down to her table, get a picture, get an autograph, say hello, and do you want to follow up on anything before we say goodbye?
I had a hell of a great time doing the show. I'm thrilled that there are fans who remember us. I'm thrilled I can walk down the street without being pestered.
Except
Unless
for-
Lou is there.
Unless I'm there.
Yeah, what can you do? Thank you all for being fans, for coming out and supporting, and I really appreciate it.
How about a great big round of applause? Make sure you go down to the table and say hi, okay? Thank you.